They're lying to you again, not with words, but with the frame itself, with the question behind the question. You've probably heard the claim neurodivergence is exploding, autism is skyrocketing, ADHD is out of control. They say it with panic, they say it with fear. They want you to believe that something unnatural is happening, that something is wrong with the people themselves. But when you clear away the noise, the reality is far simpler and far more dangerous for the system that profits from your confusion. Here's the truth. Better science leads to better detection. For most of human history, the entire spectrum of neurodivergent existence was invisible, mislabeled, or punished into silence. The ones who thought differently, felt differently, moved differently, they were cast out, institutionalized, exiled into margins where society didn't have to see them. It wasn't until the late 20th century, and especially the early 21st, that we began to even have a language for it, tools for it, a medical and social lens sharp enough to recognize that difference is not defect, that divergence is not disease. The apparent rise in neurodivergence is not a sudden mutation of the species, it is recognition catching up to reality. But that's only half the story, because while our understanding of the mind has grown more sophisticated, the world outside those minds has grown more hostile. And this is where the real weapon comes out. If you apply the Possewood principle, if you study systems by their outcomes, not their slogans, it becomes painfully clear. Capitalism is systematically assaulting human mental health. You were never meant to live like this. Not under endless competition, not under manufactured scarcity, not under constant performance metrics, surveillance disguised as opportunity, or the soul-warping pressure to be productive every second you are alive. Capitalism demands efficiency. Capitalism demands conformity. Capitalism demands expendability. And when human beings, organic, emotional, non-linear beings, are forced into a system built like a meat grinder, something has to give. The rise in anxiety, the surge in depression, the epidemic of burnout, self-harm, isolation, and despair, these are not anomalies. These are not failures of individuals. They are the expected, logical, engineered consequences of an economic system that treats life itself as raw material. Possewood, the purpose of a system is what it does. And what capitalism does is break you down. So, when you see those graphs, the ones shouting that neurodivergence is out of control, remember, you're looking at two overlapping phenomena. One is a triumph of understanding. The other is a crime against the soul. And when the same forces that cause the collapse start using that collapse to justify control, to justify surveillance, to justify marginalization, know that you are seeing the parasite reveal itself, because they don't fear neurodivergence. They fear the truth neurodivergent people reveal, that this system was never designed for flourishing, that its values are not life, liberty, or becoming, but extraction, domination, and decay. Neurodivergence is not the disease. The system is. And until we dismantle the machine of coercion, until we build a civilization that nourishes every form of mind, body, and soul, we will keep mistaking the symptoms for the sickness. We will keep fighting each other while the real enemy watches. No more. Recognize the structure. Name the parasite. Protect the right to become. Because if we don't, they will rewrite the future in their image and call it medicine. But if we do, if we awaken to the true nature of what's unfolding, then the rise of neurodivergence will not be the beginning of decline. It will be the first sign of a world being born.